Hey everybody, it's Brandon, the Weekend Cruiser, where I go on a weekend cruise just about every weekend. And on my last cruise, I had the privilege of going to the Blue Lagoon Island. And first of all, a huge shout out to all of you because this is the first complimentary or free thing that I've gotten because I am a YouTuber. So I reached out to the folks at Blue Lagoon saying, hey, would love to share with all of you what your island has to offer. And they openly invited me onto the island. And I had an absolute blast. And so I'm excited to come on and share with you today the different things that you can do as part of their land package. So if, hanging out in Nassau is not for you, you may have seen my videos on some walking tours around Nassau, whether you're staying close to the port or you want to see some more historical artifacts in Nassau. If that's not for you, an excursion is a great option, and I do recommend Blue Lagoon Island. Today we're going to talk about all of their land-based activities. They have plenty of animals as well that you can hang out with and book encounters and swims with them. That's in this other video. But for this video, we're going to talk about the land-based options, and those are specifically going to be the Blue Lagoon Beach Break, the Blue Lagoon Island VIP or adults-only beach break. They've got a Segway tour as well as an eco tour, eco walking tour that you can take part in. So we're going to break all of those down and talk about which one might be the right one for you. Now, the first thing I like to do when I talk about any excursion is talk a little bit about the company and the history that is behind them. And Blue Lagoon Island, or as you may have seen it online called Dolphin Encounters, is a good story that is out there. So check out the About Us page on their website, Blue Lagoon Island or dolphinencounters.com. And it can give you more information. But the island itself is about 2.5 miles long, but they're only going to make up about 0.5 miles of that they're going to use for us tourists and for the animal areas that are there. Now, speaking of animals, that's kind of how they got their notoriety, is from the different animals that they have. So they're going to have 24 animals, or 24 dolphins, 12 stingrays, 7 sharks, and 8 sea lions on property. So even if you're doing one of the land tours and you didn't book one of the animal tours, you can still go and see the animals that are there. You can see other people doing their encounters. You just can't get in and participate. Now, all of those animals are not going to be kept in cages. They have really large enclosures that they are kept in, and it is a reward-based system at Blue Lagoon Island. So they never punish their animals. If they're trying to get them to do a trick or get them trained to do something, and the animal simply doesn't want to do it, they're just going to move on to the next animal. They're just going to find another animal that is willing to learn or willing to participate to get that reward. But they do not punish their animals at all. And Blue Lagoon Island is also very focused on education. So walking around the island, you're going to see signs. You're going to learn stuff while you're there, especially if you do one of the animal encounters. You're going to get an up-close and personal educational experience on what that animal is and some of their natural habitat. All right, before we jump into the actual excursions or the beach activities that you can do here, some disclaimers that I just need to quickly give you is, number one, every cruise line is going to book a little bit differently or contract differently with Blue Lagoon Island. So make sure that you're reading the fine print. You're saying what it is you're actually signing up for. What is offered on Royal Caribbean is not necessarily offered on Carnival Cruise Lines or Norwegian Cruise Lines when they are in port. They all contract and have different prices, as well as even some different excursions that you can do based on who you're going with. The next is that the weather may or may not cancel these events that are going on. So if you do book one of these land-based activities, and I call them land-based because they're not with an animal, if the weather is poor, check when you are checking in beside of the ship if they are offering refunds. Now, this is completely up to Blue Lagoon Island. If they think the weather's bad enough to cancel, they may give you the option to do that. But a little bit of rain doesn't necessarily mean that your day is going to be canceled. You also must book through the cruise line. So if Blue Lagoon Island finds out that you booked directly through them, that's not going to end well. They're probably going to wind up canceling your reservation and asking you to book directly through the ship. That is part of their contract agreement with the cruise lines. You also, when you board with the cruise lines or book with cruise line, you board right over here in the port of Nassau. If you book through Blue Lagoon Island, you've got to go all the way over to Paradise Island by the Atlantis Hotel to be able to board the ship, and that's going to cost you the money that you probably would have saved if you booked it direct, if there's a cost savings at all. Now let's break down some of the ones that are out there. So the first one is the Blue Lagoon Eco Walking Tour. Now this one is a $70 tour, and it's going to walk you around the island, not the 2.5 miles of it. It's not that long of a walk, but it is still a good walk. There's a little bit of hills, but you're going to learn about all the various animals that are there, whether they are part of the marina experience or they're just ones that are indigenous to the island. You're going to learn about the plants, and you're going to have a very knowledgeable tour guide walking you around. And one quick thing that I will say about Blue Lagoon Island, their staff is the friendliest staff I have ever seen. They have done a fantastic job at hiring people that like people and are knowledgeable about what they are doing. So everybody there is super friendly. Now the Eco Tour on the cruise that I looked at for the 617 sailing in 2022 was going for $70 on Royal Caribbean. Now this was the cheapest option that was out there, but again, make sure you're paying attention to the fine print. This one does not come with lunch. So if you want to purchase lunch on the island, that is going to be an additional $24 for the buffet that they have there. The next is going to be the Blue Lagoon Deluxe Beach Break activity. And so this one was going for $78 when I checked the price. And this is where you just get to go and enjoy everything that the beach is. This is the most relaxing option. They're going to have plenty of chairs for you to choose from, lots of umbrellas, and you're also going to have some eggshells, some water activities if you want to do an upcharge and go for a little bit more while you're there. The good news with this one is it does include lunch. So at that $78 price point, you are going to have lunch included with it. So honestly, in my opinion, this is truly the cheapest one when you compare everything that's included. Now, the one that I did while I was here was the VIP Blue Lagoon Experience, or their adult-only beach break that they're calling it these days, and that was going for about $144. Now, this is a beach that is secluded. When you walk into this location, you're going to be greeted with spa relaxing music in like a Zen garden, beautiful area. This is also where the included buffet is going to be with the adult beach break that is there. Now, the food here is fantastic. It's a beautiful atmosphere to eat in, and it is a higher end experience than the traditional buffet you're going to find on the main portion of the island. It is upgraded food, which I personally like. You're then going to walk over the bridge and you're going to see your own personal beach this year. This is adults only beach. And honestly, it's not really that much of a party crowd when I was there. This could change based on, if you get a large group of 20 people that go in there, this could absolutely change. But when I was there, it was very, very relaxing. The good news as well here is Bahama Mamas are fully included in the adult beach break experience. So if you want to have alcohol included, the Bahama Mamas are going to be there, and there is a beach attendant or somebody to bring you those and make sure that you stay topped off on your drink at all times. The water here is also going to be very, very clear. I love just hanging out in the water. They've got a relaxation spot over on the side, and I forget the name of it, but the water is just crystal clear. It's very beautiful. And make sure that you're also looking up really close to the rocks or the boulders, because they're going to have beautiful little snails that are on them of all sorts of shapes and colors. Now, the Blue Lagoon Island Segway Experience is another option that you can do, and this does come with the beach break. It does not come with lunch, but it is going for $144. So I know I mentioned the one prior, the adult beach break was $144. That one's $124. This one is the $144 excursion, but it does give you an hour tour on a Segway around the island. So again, very similar to the Eco Tour, you're going to stop and learn about all the different animals. You're going to learn about the marine life that lives there, that's been brought there, but also the indigenous plants and animals that are there too. It's quite scenic, and anybody can do it. I mean, this is a super easy one. As long as you can get on there and balance, they're going to give you a helmet just in case, but they're going to have a guide at the front and the back of this line to make sure that everything goes smoothly. All right, so let's talk about some pro tips if one of these beach breaks is something that you want to do. So the first thing is, don't show up early to this excursion. So go to your meeting point at the time that you were supposed to meet with your cruise line. With Royal Caribbean, we did meet outside directly beside of the ship in the heat, and there is nowhere to sit in the port. You are just standing there. So if you show up 30 minutes early, that is 30 minutes in the sun, standing. It's not going to be a pleasant experience. So make sure that you are showing up right when that excursion is meeting. If weather is poorly, this is also the time that you can ask them, hey, is the excursion still going, or do you mind if I cancel and could I get a refund? That's going to be up to them to honor that, but this is the time to ask. The next is the boat ride. So the boat ride is going to take you about 35 minutes over to the island. They're going to greet you right at the port of Nassau, so a very easy walk. but make sure you're sitting on the left-hand side of the island. So this is going to give you, or not the left-hand side of the island, the left-hand side of the boat or the port side. This is where you're going to have the best views of Paradise Island, the Atlantis Hotel, and all the beautiful homes over on Paradise Island. Do this also on the way back. You're going to want to sit on the right-hand side or the starboard side to still make sure you are getting these best views. And we'll also give you the best views coming and going into Blue Lagoon Island so that you can see all that there is to offer there, and a great opportunity to take a picture as you're leaving the island. For the beach break, make sure that you're not stopping at the very first chair you're coming to. Now, if you're doing the water activities and you want to be close to that, totally get it, but keep pushing past all of that because it gets bigger, it opens up a little bit more, and it does get a little bit more secluded, so you may feel like you have the island to yourself depending on how many ships are in port that day. But don't stop at the first chair. Keep on walking through. You probably can find an even better chair. There are plenty of them to go around, so don't feel like you have to be the first one off the boat. But if you want to be, always make sure that you sit on the lower level of that boat so that you can get off and get that first chair first, because they're going to get off before the upper deck of the boat will. And the last thing is just make sure that you bring cash or a credit card to the Blue Lagoon Island. Your set sail pass or your Sea Pass card, Cruise Line's hotel room card will not work at Blue Lagoon Island. They are not affiliated. They don't take that as currency. So make sure that you are bringing some kind of cash. The Bahamian dollar is pegged to the US dollar, so they accept that without a problem. And they also take credit cards on the island if you wish to pay for the buffet or maybe buy a drink or one of the gift shops that they have on the island. Now, if you're looking for something more exciting and the beach break just seems a little bit too relaxing for you, make sure you're heading over to the other video to check out the animal encounters. They're going to have sharks, stingrays, dolphins, and sea lions that you can get out there and play with, touch, and interact with. So if that sounds more like your speed, make sure you're checking out the next video on Blue Lagoon animals. All right, everybody, this is Brandon, the Weekend Cruiser, hoping to see you on a weekend cruise soon.